yeah, but come on, touching his, like his belly, like, ugh.
It's definitely recording and you're in.
Okay.
Just double take. Okay.
Oh, what, you trying to intro the show?
No, I'm just, okay. We're good.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year. Welcome to Cantina Conversations, another great installment into this saga of this episode. This is the episode of the podcast. I don't fucking know. It's the New Year's 2018. This might be one of the first episodes of Geek First Podcast out there,
Of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very...
I am the hashtag Travis always tells you so. Travis Snow.
I am the sagarific Taylor Field.
Yikes.
That was not good.
Sagarific. Well, what we're doing, so now we've had enough time from Last Jedi that this will have some Last Jedi spoilers, so if you've not seen it still, then get out of here. We're going to get right down to the nitty gritty. You've seen the title of this episode. We're doing a prediction episode for episode 9, and we're doing it super far out. We've not heard anything, what JJ's planning. Obviously, there's no trailer, anything like that. This is something we'll get to listen back to years from now when this comes out and see how close we were. We're going to both do 5, and the way this works, it's like a drafting system where if I predict something that Taylor Field has, he can no longer predict it. So that's why you really have to think about what you would predict first, because you have to worry if that person might take it. We'll do a prediction, we'll tell the other person why we're predicting it, and then we'll have a little conversation, and we'll continue to do that. The other reason we're also doing this is because I'm notoriously right quite a bit on my Star Wars stuff. I predicted that Rey was going to be the right one, and yes, it was a different shot, but I listened to the cast, I still said at some point Kylo and Rey are going to have that scene.
Right.
We were both right, but you still denied me. You said, no, they're not going to have that scene when he extends the hand. I said that would happen. Oh, there's one other one about Last Jedi. The Jedi didn't end. I told you about that.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah, I will.
I remember you saying otherwise, I thought.
No. And that's why this is going to be the official predictions episode, so I can say, hey, this is a whole episode of that. But I am actually pretty good with my Star Wars predictions. I had a big miss this year. I thought Kylo was going to potentially die in episode 8, but a big miss there. But yeah, so that's what this is going to be. It's kind of spawned off a little bit of fun, because yeah, Taylor definitely knows a lot more than me in Star Wars, but I think I have a better track record of seeing what could be coming next. I'm not sure if that's because...
It's the thing, because you're so good with like movies and with critiquing and watching so many.
And you're not? You're good?
Well, you've heard my reviews and my ratings. but when it comes to you in movies, you have a really good concept of like foreshadowing and spotting things. So I think that really goes a long way for Star Wars.
So what we're going to do is, it's going to be a little loud, but I'm going to dip into my Darth Maul piggy bank.
Ooh.
I'm going to get a coin. It's super loud. Ooh, I'm going to get the now extinct Canadian penny.
You still got one of those?
Show that to the audience, to the people watching. And I will let you, sir, pick.
That's 1959. Wow. That is really old.
I was a time traveler. My hands just smell like completely iron now. Like, tastes like it too. I'm going to let you pick heads or tails, which actually is fraudulent because I can't see what it is. But what are you picking?
Well, I'll pick heads.
And then you're picking heads. Is it where you land? Oh, so it's a land and then flip? Okay, to be clear.
Well, yeah, no, I flip and then it lands.
Where's it landing?
Well, it
should land in your hand.
It lands like this, and then I go like that.
That's what I just said. And you're like, no.
Oh, the land. Oh, I thought you meant
I said land and a flip.
I thought you meant I go like this, and never mind. Yeah, I got it.
What's happening?
We're good.
Okay, heads and tails for me.
Tails for you.
Yeah, tails never fails.
It's tails.
Boom! Okay, let's start this off hot. I get the first pick. Okay, so I have so here's an interesting thing where this could be a very fun cast, or this could be disaster. As I have many predictions written out, Taylor just says they're all in his noggin. That's never a good thing. I never know what's going to happen there. I'm going to go for and this is what we'll do is when... I guess I was going to call it Last Jedi. When episode 9 comes out, we will do a I guess we'll do some sort of review of episode 9, obviously, when it happens, but we'll do, if continual conversation is still happening, even if it's not, we will bring it back to review this episode and see how we did, and whoever has the most prediction can get the points. I'm going for the most obvious one. I'm going in for the point factor because I want to win. You watch me in the gauntlet, you watch me in life, you know I like to win. Luke will come back as a Force Ghost. That is my first prediction because I think that is the most obvious one. It's going to happen. I think, honestly, we've seen Yoda do it. We've seen Ben Kenobi do it. We saw Hayden Christensen do it. We've seen Jedis die. And even when someone like Vader, who to me has no right to be a fucking Force Ghost after he's like murdered many, many children. But we've seen many people come back. Luke was killed. Like I said, this is Last Jedi spoiler, so I don't want to see it. I haven't seen it yet. Why are you watching this video? If you have not seen this, if you've not seen Last Jedi and you're watching episode 9 predictions,
shame on you.
Shame on you. But I think it's an obvious thing that's going to happen. And I also think because it sounds like we're not going to get much Carrie Fisher / Princess Leia, I think we're missing some aspects of the original trilogy. Because I think you look at the way they were going to go was Han was a big factor of 7 and he passed away. Like, the character died. Luke was a big factor in 8, passed away. I think they're going to do the same thing with Leia, as her was a big thing in 9 and then passed away. They don't really, as of right now, unless they recast, they don't really have that. So I think Luke was always going to be in it, but I think Luke will be in it more now to kind of lessen the blow of, hey, we have no OG people. I'm not the biggest fan of, I wish Rey can't actually do it. If I had my prediction, I'd rather it be a flashback or a Force Ghost to someone like a Kylo or something, because I don't like the idea of a Force Ghost because I worry about how come on the island in Last Jedi he can talk to Yoda but Ben's not there. You know, like, they've never really explained that weird thing, like, do Force Ghosts go away or why do they stick around? Because that's the thing, for me it's like a logical standpoint of, okay, let's say they do episode 10 years from now, right? Mark Hamill's passed away or something like that, or he doesn't want to do it. Why is that Force Ghost not there anymore? You know, like when the characters are under lots of stress or they're struggling and they need a guide, when they don't have that person, it feels kind of off. That's the good thing with Yoda. He's a puppet, so he can do that. So I actually would like the prediction maybe not to come true, but I think it will. And I think they should explain that more, because I don't understand why does Ben Kenobi not pop up other than, hey, Alec Guinness has passed away and we can't do it, right? So what do you think the likelihood of this prediction is, and what is your take
I
on
think
it?
it's 100%.
It's 100%.
It's gonna happen. Easily.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel about my thing, though, about, like, the Force Ghost thing? Because why do certain ones pop up and why do they not? Like, also we know it's because the actors aren't alive, but in, like, story, you're a big fan of canon. We're going to do episode on canon in the future. Is there anything explained that why a Force Ghost may not appear? Like, why would Ben not be in Last Jedi?
They have from what I remember, I think there's, like, a realm or something. Not really like a realm where they're all chilling, but, like, there's
Heaven.
there's a place like a place where they can go back to, and it's just kind of like at peace or something like that, and they can like if they go to where their consciousness with or something like that.
So once they go there, they can't come back.
No, they can come back because
Okay.
I mean Ben does it a lot. Like Obi-Wan does it, but I don't know, for the movie, I still feel like it was perfect for Yoda to do it, because when you're dealing with the whole history of the Jedi, Yoda is the one to go to who's lived longer than most.
Yeah.
To be honest, so.
So then Ben just doesn't come to say anything, though?
I think that well, not that it's prediction, but I feel like they could incorporate him still somehow, because he did talk to Rey.
Yeah, and you know what? Another one I feel that is going to say that I am a Travis told you. So we did a conversations about a few months ago on the topic of if there is a chosen one or who it is, and my thing was I think it's kind of like a myth. Do you think with Luke being dead now, it is kind of a myth? Because he was supposed to be the chosen one. Didn't really change much. He kind of created a new First Order. He, like, I guess we talk about the definition, but, like, my idea of it kind of being just, like, an idea that people talk about, it's not, like, if it was Rey as a Skywalker, you could kind of bring it down. But now that he's dead, he saved the universe, I guess, once, but then he put it just back in parallel again, like.
No, because I think it's all a point of view. And when he
from
saved,
my point of view, Luke didn't do anything.
when he saved the universe and Darth Vader killed the Emperor and all that fun stuff happened, then, you know, the light side rose, he was building a new Jedi Order and everything, but then light was up here and darkness was down here. Yes, the First Order was being built, but that was without Kylo Ren. That was without Luke Skywalker contributing to that. That was its own agenda and its own thing.
But Kylo Ren certainly helped the situation.
He helped when Luke
Tried to strike him down.
he brought balance to the Force again in that sense, because darkness was down here and light was up here. All these Jedi with nothing to match, that's unbalanced in the Force. And that's again why Luke eventually realized, there needs to be no Jedi, or no, because there's no Jedi, then there's no Sith, and vice versa, and there's balance. So I feel like his actions, as bad as they were, it warranted, again, balance. Brought balance.
Okay.
It brought out darkness to pull back light a little bit, and then finally we're at a point now where light has come up to meet the darkness. That Snoke says as well. So I feel like there is still justice in what he did. And
Okay.
whether or not it was originally something that manifested with Anakin and just transcended into Luke, I feel like it'll be interesting to see if it transcends into Rey.
I don't know if there's gonna be any chosen ones, but I can say I completely disagree with you.
Really?
But you can go back to Cantina conversation and find out why. Because remember, I don't find that whole thing of what the chosen one does. I don't view it the same way as you do. I just view it as we take out all that stuff. So it is your turn, Taylor Field. That was my official first prediction for episode 9. It's an easy one. Yeah, I had to go for it. Luke is a Force ghost. What is your first prediction? What is going to happen in episode 9 or something? I don't know. I stated it.
Leia dies.
Leia dies. Okay, so you have to clarify, I think, because I have a prediction that I could still possibly do, but I don't know if I'll be able to because you picked that.
What do you mean by clarify?
Well, how do you think she would go out?
Oh, how? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was just literally saying she just dies.
Okay.
Because you said, Luke will be in the episode.
Okay. Good. Fine. I won't do the prediction, but my prediction was Leia will die, but my prediction was she'll die off screen. She will die in between 8 and 9, and they may say it in the opening crawl. And the movie could even start with them at the funeral of Leia Organa, and even you could have a scene of Kylo Ren finding out, and you could see him a little bit hurt by the situation or angry. I think that'll happen, but I think she is gonna pass away because you can't carry that on, honestly, unless they just don't mention it. Some people said what if she goes on a mission and they just never mention her again? But it's I don't think you can do that. That's too big of a hole. So yeah, honestly, why did you predict it? I pretty much know why you predicted, but why did you predict it?
Well, due to unfortunate events that actually happened a year ago, I think. Just a couple.
Well, not when this released.
Not when this released. When
recording.
we're recording, yeah, just about a year ago.
At
now.
patreon.com, you could get it the day after we record it.
Yeah. So, I think, as unfortunate as it is, she has passed, and I think it sucks because we're missing out on such great opportunity. Like you said so many times, I want that Leia, Kylo Ren scene. I think that would be super cool. And yes, we've got the scene with him and Luke, and that was great. But I think over all of them, with the 3 OG members, I think it would have been super cool to see Leia and Kylo Ren, because there's just.
I still will take Han over Leia just because I have more connection to Han, and just because I don't know, it's tough. It all depends. I think depends as you as a person, because I am closer with my dad. So for me, that father to sons, father to father,
Father.
Kyle as a kid. No, that father to son scene for me is more impactful. I'm biased because Han's my favorite Star Wars character, but for maybe people that are closer to mother, I could see that son and mother being really close. And it also, you could be right in a matter of. She has the Force, confirmed in Last Jedi, right? So they have even more of a connection. They sense each other multiple times. So you could be right there that they have a better understanding of each other than Han did,
Well, I think it's just the sense that out of all the characters, she's the only one he didn't want to kill. It crossed his mind, but he didn't.
Yeah, and he chose to. That's the really, truly only light side thing he really does in Last Jedi. Because you could argue killing Snoke was kind of light side, but it's kind of hampered by, he turned, he just becomes the supreme leader, so it's kind of it has an asterisk by it. The other thing where I can see that scene being bigger is, they haven't fully said this, but if you kind of look at the way Han, Luke, and Leia have talked in Force Awakens and Last Jedi, it sounded like Han didn't want to send Kylo with Luke. And Luke wanted to take him, and Leia thought it was a good idea because she said because it was Luke, right? So that shows another thing of, she was a bigger proponent of putting him on this path. Where I think Han maybe being, he grew into the idea of the Force, right? He accepted it by the original trilogy, but you could still see him being the guy who doesn't want to send his kid off to be gone for 10, 15, whatever years it is. He'd be a little on edge about, I don't know, obviously, and he says that line, Force Awakens, he has a little Vader in him. He probably had an idea that if he goes, he could lose his son. And Leia says in Force Awakens, like, oh, when I let him go, I lost you both. So I feel like maybe they'll clarify that in novels or whatnot, but I feel like that is the narrative of Luke had this idea, he saw the power, he went to the booth. He went to the booth, he followed them in the other booth. He went to them both, and Han was like, I don't know about this. Kylo, and we know Kylo didn't want to go. He didn't really want to become a Jedi. He had the power, but it sounded like he was reluctant as well. So with him and Han being reluctant, and then Leia kind of maybe being the final push, because obviously that's his wife, Han's wife, and then Kylo's mother, a big proponent of him going. And unfortunately, yeah, we're never going to get that scene. And that's one thing that really sucks for me. I don't even think he would have killed her if she, Carrie Fisher would have been alive. I think they're just, that confrontation would have been good to see them together. Or maybe Leia tries to kill him, because she says that to Luke, like, oh, and maybe that was the setup of, I can't save him, I have to stop him. Maybe that would have been in episode 9. Kylo would have had to kill her because he had no choice, right? Like or maybe it would have been a sacrifice of her killing them both.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it's a good prediction that so you think just she's dead or dies.
She's not gonna make it past by the end of episode 9. She will be dead.
Okay, so let's see. Prediction number 2. I did it for this movie, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to double down. I think Kylo Ren will die in episode 9. I think there's lots of evidence to go against it, and I don't want it to happen. This is the prediction I don't want the most. I want Kylo. I think Kylo, honestly, I love Han, but I think he could replace Han as my favorite. I think Kylo Ren, I'm going to say this till the day I die, unless episode 9 he befriends Jar Jar Binks and it goes to Haywire. I think he's the best written character that Star Wars has. I think he's the most unique and leveled character, and he has the most flaws, but they're really well developed and well rounded. It's not just, hey, Padme's gonna die in this Force vision. Okay, let's kill all these kids and let's do this. Like, there was a build up to Kylo becoming even more evil, and now through flashbacks we've seen more so, like, just his uncle trying to kill him. Like, that makes sense. Where for me, that was the disconnect in the prequels. I get there's reasons Anakin would turn bad, but the full turn never got there. I still thought there was a way where he could have turned around. It never fully clicked with me. Kylo, it did. I think there's much potential. And I think the fact that the biggest thing you might say to me as a detractor is they can play coy and say, oh, I don't know for him to do episode 10. They're going to do episode 10. Last Jedi is a huge success. 9 will probably be a huge success as well. They're going to do 10, they're going to do 11 and 12. So this is the most opportunity that they don't have to kill off a villain, right? With Vader, it was like, okay, Lucas was done. Anakin obviously had to turn bad. They have the most free range with this villain. I think just because he's killed Han, he kind of killed Luke in a sense. He's killed a lot of bad people. He's done a lot of bad things. I think if you don't kill... I think because Snoke died, if Snoke died in 9, I think Kylo could make it. But I think as Snoke died, Kylo kind of has to be that comeuppance, that, hey, we finally got the bad guy and then move on. I think it's a big mistake. I would rather them stop the First Order and them send Kylo out on his own, or even Rey chooses not to kill him, but just, takes his lightsaber, does something. I don't know, like people reject him, or the First Order as a group rejects him. I want something like that where he's off in the distance. Episode 10 hits, Kylo's not around, then episode 11, Kylo's back, and maybe he's in between the Force. I don't know. But I think it's just... Star Wars, maybe this is uncharted territory, but in the movies, they usually don't leave too much hanging, and they like to close off chapters, and they're still talking about this as a trilogy. They've said that they may do future films, but they don't really say episode 10 specifically. So I think Kylo will die. I think Rey will kill him. I don't want that. I think there's much more potential in having him as a character that goes decades, if they would have made, like Lucas wanted to do at one point, he wanted to do his 7, 8, and 9. If we would have saw young Luke or younger Mark Hamill play these movies, that's because that's some people's gripes with Last Jedi is, I want to see more of Luke's story and him not just be a supporting character, right? We have that opportunity now with these actors being so young. We can still jump 10 years, and him and Daisy Ridley, they're late 30s, 40s, they're still super young. You could carry those characters out. I think it's a much better idea to do the Marvel way and not kill people like heroes off and keep it going. Like the same way Han when he came back. But I feel like, I won't say that because it's another prediction, but I feel like with the villain though, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do what I want, and I'll be very disappointed because I think they're kind of, there's going to be canon books, but I think they're throwing away maybe their best thing. And I think Kylo Ren, before you go, my last point is, with Last Jedi, very controversial. It's very very divisive. One thing that has been a big concurrent, I feel, Force Awakens, you had, I think it was like a 70-40 of 70-40, wow. 70-30 of 70% really like Kylo Ren, but there was a big group that didn't like him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like lots of those people have turned, and I feel like the most positive things I've heard about Last Jedi were Kylo Ren, because even Luke, they can say they like Mark Hamill, but they don't like the decisions they made with him, right? Where with Kylo, I feel like that's been the thing that's been most positively talked about. So I think they got a golden egg. My worries are just going to be like, oh yeah, because he killed everybody, we got to smash it. And what do you think? What do you think about my chance of it happening, and what do you want to happen with Kylo Ren?
I think it's because you talked about two things there that are actually two of my predictions.
Oh,
They're
okay.
not your prediction. But
Well, you could throw out a prediction now because I made mine. So if you want to tie in your prediction with your story, you could.
My one prediction I'll tie in on our third run.
Unless I take it from
Unless
you.
you take it. That's why I won't say it. But my prediction to counteract yours is I think he's definitely going to live.
So that's your official prediction.
That's
that
my
Kylo Ren
official
lives.
prediction. Kylo Ren
Okay.
lives.
So how do you see that going? Does he escape, or is it something like I said with the First Order, where they kind of
I
excommunicate
can't say
him?
because I don't want to lead into my next prediction.
Okay.
But my prediction is that he definitely lives.
Okay.
And when we get to the next round, I'll detail it more. But he lives, and I feel like I think that it'll be a form of redemption. I feel like the fact that he
Is your prediction that he turns good?
no, not turn good.
Okay,
Because
okay.
he could still be bad. I don't know, but I know that he's definitely gonna be alive. I just feel like the fact that he was stripped of the way of, or stripped of his opportunity of killing Luke. He was stripped of his opportunity for what was the other thing? He's had a few opportunities stripped from him that would have really fulfilled his turning to the dark side. I feel like, and I feel like there's still a lot of that conflict and a lot of kind of.
I don't think so anymore. I think they doubled down on it in Last Jedi by teasing us with the turning to Rey, and now I think with Luke gone, and then now with especially story wise Leia gone, I don't think there's much reason for him to turn good. It'd be different, yeah. Like I wanted Reylo too for a little bit. It'd be different if somehow they did get romantically involved in Last Jedi, but because that didn't happen, I don't think there's any way he can go back. I'm happy with that because with in Last Jedi, I wouldn't have been 100% opposed to him turning good, but for me, it would have been, we've already seen that with Vader, I don't need to see that, and I more wanted just either them to be in the middle or Rey to turn bad. I think that is one of the biggest things in the long run that did hurt them. After weeks of Last Jedi, I still like the film a lot, but there is a part of me that wishes that they had them team up, and the 9th movie was about Luke having to take them both on. Because I think it would have been really set up perfectly with Luke being so powerful, and the movie could have been about Kylo's gone, but he could still get Rey back. So who knows in the long run? We'll see when they do the other trilogy. I think they did miss a big chance possibly of not doing the Kylo Rey team up. And maybe you think that could happen, so I think they could. But that's another thing that everyone says. And I've always said that you can't get disappointed about what didn't happen, but lots of people be like, man, if they would have teamed up in the next movie, it would have been something new and fresh, right? I feel like they can't do that anymore. I feel like Kylo turning good can't happen anymore. And I'm fine with that because we've not had this story of a villain. We talked about this in the review. Anakin was about turning to the dark side, which was kind of like Kylo, but anyways, when he became Vader, we skipped ahead, right? We didn't see much of him. We saw and that was it. And then with Vader, he was just a block. Like, he was just evil, sinister, but we didn't get much character development until like 30 minutes into Return of the Jedi. I was like, oh yeah, he has feelings now, you know? Like, Kylo, this is the first time we've seen a villain grow to the ranks. He's the leader of this First Order now. And to me, I think he is fully bad, and I think the movies need that. We've got that a lot in video games and books where it's just a full-on evil Sith that's the main villain, not the Emperor who's in the corner or Count Dooku, like the main villain is evil. So I think they should ride that out, but I just think because of all the damage he's done, they can't leave it. Don't you think as a story, I'm taking people like, oh, I like Kylo Ren, as a story, how do the bad guys, or how do the good guys really win if they don't kill Kylo Ren, who is to me just as bad as far as Vader, because yeah, he didn't kill a bunch of kids, but he's killing characters we've loved for decades, right? So how do they make the good guys really feel like they won if they don't get to kill Kylo? That's the thing.
Well, Kylo's not really the main threat. The First Order is the main threat.
But as the viewer, I don't think that is. I think they view Kylo. Like, the First Order didn't fucking throw Han down a ventilation shaft, you know? They didn't make Luke use all his force power, you know? It was Kylo's doing. So that's why I feel like the same way as Vader and the Emperor, yeah, the bigger organization is the Empire or the First Order, but they're the figureheads of that. So you're gonna have the same thing like Emperor Vader, Count Dooku, Darth Maul. They all had to die, right? We've not seen anybody live, and that's because we haven't had a trilogy continuing. But we've not seen anyone live. I'm not counting the prequels because you can't kill off Anakin and be like, oh, but he's still in Episode 4. Like, I don't know. And then I guess the closest you could see is from Clone Wars to Rebels. Darth Maul made it, but we'll have that conversation another day. I don't think canon really matters. So I don't know. I think there's a small chance he makes it out, but I think he's a goner.
No, I think he's in.
Okay, well then I will do, because I know your third one you're trying to save, but I'm gonna go for another one that I said wouldn't happen last Jedi review until Taylor brought up a point. And I said, oh yeah, I think it will. I think we will see the Knights of Ren.
Oh, okay. So what changed?
Because I said in the cast, if you listen to it, because we all were talking at some point. You didn't hear me, but it's because JJ's directing it, and he brought up the Knights of Ren. I do think though they are going to be just the new Praetorian Guards. How do you say them?
The Praetorian.
Praetorian Guards. I think they'll just be them. I think they'll just be cannon fodder for Rey to chop down and get through to get to Kylo, and then eventually kill Kylo. I do hope they have lightsabers and everything like that, but I think they will be his guards, his trusted people. I didn't think about that before, but with JJ back, I think he will bring that. Everyone has been asking about him, and I did say on the review that, oh, you're not going to see that at all. I do take that back, but I still think in the same vein, you're not going to get what I was always hoping of, like, oh, is this a cult? Like, apparently they, like, search for Sith artifacts and this and that. I was like, that sounds really cool. I don't think you're going to get that. I think you're just going to get them being, like, really heavy bodyguards, which I think is not the greatest way to go, but I think they will appear now. I do think you'll see, I don't know whether it's a flashback, whether he killed them, because they weren't even mentioned in The Last Jedi, but it is JJ coming back, my best friend JJ Abrams. So I do think there is a chance that he will use them in some form or fashion. I don't know how big, how small, but I think the Knights of Ren will appear. And I hope so. I liked the idea of them. I do hope it's like they dive into them being kind of like a cult or kind of weird guys or power users, or maybe they are the students that he took with them in The Last Jedi, right? That wasn't taught. Because some people have said, oh, is that? Or maybe Snoke made them all like train and kill each other off to see who was the best one out of the bunch. So there's some theories out there, but I want some confirmation definitely on the Knights of Ren, and not just in a fucking like novel or comic book.
Oh, I think they're. I don't think they killed off each other. I mean, just the title too, like leader of the Knights of Ren. Like he's leading the Knights of Ren.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And you see him in his group in that vision, leading them too. Like
it does feel weird though that they're not in Last Jedi at all, though, right?
It does feel weird.
And that's where it's something where I understand that Carrie Fisher passed away, so that changed some stuff. But I remember Bob Iger, they were talking about, because the Disney Fox still happened the day of Last Jedi release. And then they were talking about Episode 9 as well, this press conference. And he's like, yeah, JJ pitched me the story. I really hope for 10, 11, 12 we get, and much like Rian Johnson's trilogy, I hope we get a sit-down plan. Because from retroactively them talking about it, it feels like they didn't have a full-on plan for 7, 8, and 9. And we gotta hear more. I don't agree with people saying, JJ wouldn't have won this. I do want to hear JJ talk about, oh, did he like what they did with Rey's parents? Did he like what they did? Because I do still feel like there is a little bit of Rian Johnson read that script and he's like, oh, I'm going to go this way. I feel they definitely talked and it wasn't like, oh, we're just doing this. But I feel like they might not have a full plan like a way that Infinity War, where it's like you can tell from here to here we got to get to here. Where to me it's more like, oh, we got to make sure these characters do this and this, but really we'll just kind of figure it out as we go along. And maybe Carrie Fisher death changed things, so I'll give them that. But you'd feel like Knights of Ren are introduced in Episode 7. Not even at the scene. They didn't even mention them in Last Jedi. They just said those students, and we don't even know if those are the same students. They didn't even mention them. So that's where, to me, so they're in 7, not even mentioned in 8, and then if they pop up in 9 as his bodyguards, I think they'll do some throwaway line where like, oh, they were looking out for something for Kylo or something like that, or they're looking for more Sith artifacts. But it's always going to feel really weird. Like, it kind of feels like when actors get recast in a franchise of like, there feels like something is missing in that middle movie of like, why weren't they around? Why weren't they helping Kylo? Kylo is clearly really stressed out in this movie, and like he would maybe need the help. Snoke's breathing down his neck, but they're nowhere to be found. So I don't know. Do you feel like we get them?
I think,
I'm not saying word. My prediction is us seeing them. I don't know if it's flashback, but I won't count as like them being mentioned as a point because that's. Yeah.
I think we'll see them because of all the things that Rian Johnson tied the knot on for like characters in the story. That was the one thing he left out, and I think for JJ to be taking over like episode 9, I think that's one of the things that's completely open for him to throw back in. Yeah. I don't think episode 8 really had any room period for the Knights of Ren. That's a whole nother story and backstory we didn't need because it was all about Luke. Why did Kylo Ren turn?
You still should say a line though of where they are though. I agree with you that they wouldn't have fit with this story, kind of like Finn couldn't have been on the island with Rey and Luke, but they should have had a line to explain where they are because canon's so important to Star Wars. Even if Snoke, like I said, were you're alone right now because they're on a separate mission, they're looking for Sith artifacts. Just something to explain. Okay, they're not around right now. They're gonna be back. In they're just like a non-factor. They don't even like if you didn't see episode 7, like not that anyone would, but let's just say some non-fan like who just kind of watched them casually, didn't watch 7, watched 8, you wouldn't even know the Knights of Ren were a thing, right? So that's what I mean. Like I get the point they wouldn't have fit in, but they should have put them somewhere. You know, because some people say, "What if the Knights of Ren are Snoke's guards?" And it's like, I don't want that. You know, like because then they're all dead. Like that's a worry of what if they do say that, like, "Oh, well, you killed all your Knights of Ren." It's like, I don't want that.
I'll have to read my visual novel or visual guide. It's very in depth. It talks about Snoke's slippers. I kid you not.
I've seen some of these things. Yeah. So are you ready to make your third prediction? Because this was tying into you didn't want to spoil it. So let's see.
The First Order is gonna betray Kylo Ren. Hux is definitely. If I've ever seen a foreshadow in my life that was so certain, it was that snippet where he pulls his gun out and puts it back in. He's definitely gonna overthrow Kylo Ren somehow. Because Kylo Ren's not fit to lead, he's so impulsive. Like, I guess he was emotionally compromised at that point, but Hux, yes, he doesn't have the Force and he can get whipped around, but he's got the entire First Order, like, army and navy at his command, and, I mean, Kylo Ren only had like leadership and authority through Snoke. Basically, he didn't have an official military position. And that's the whole thing is it's based off the military. Like it's an organization, and Hux was at the top of that chain. Yeah. And so no questions asked. He's gonna betray him.
Do you feel like after Last Jedi, them making him a little bit more comedic, and a lot of people didn't like that, which I had actually no problems with it. Do you think that could hurt that though of happening? You know, JJ's back. Because I can see the excommunication happen like a Jack Sparrow situation where they kick him out, but I don't know if it's Hux. I could see it being Hux and almost a new character introduced in the movie. Not another Snoke Emperor, but somebody that maybe was a part of the First Order that is important that we didn't meet, because I don't know Hux leading the charge to get him out will work unless it's just everybody. Like, the only other way I could see it is they introduce is very similar to the scene in A New Hope where it's Vader and it's all like the generals in that chair and you have like Krennic's missing chair and Grand Moff Tarkin. That's the only way I could see them doing that, because Hux alone, I feel like Kylo's gonna kill him in episode 9. So that's where I can't get on board with you with the Hux thing. I can see First Order as a unit, but I don't think Hux could lead the charge, because I think Hux is gonna die, and I think Kylo's definitely gonna kill him 100%.
Really, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna go down. Yeah, I think because they hate each other, and maybe Kylo will find out that he tried to kill him or something like that, and then Hux is done for.
Okay, well, actually, yeah, then I can definitely agree. Like, I think Hux will die, but I think that would happen after my prediction of Kylo Ren being ousted. I think.
So you don't think there's no version of this movie that ends with Kylo Ren still being First Order? Do you think? Is there a better chance of him dying than being still with the First Order?
There's a better chance of him... No, there's a better chance of him dying than being with the First Order.
So you think no matter what, he's not with the First Order?
No matter what,
he's somehow in the movie.
Yeah, no matter what, he's gonna get kicked out of the First Order.
And you don't think you think there's conflict, but this is not in any of my predictions. Maybe it's in yours, but it's like a non-point prediction. But I don't think he's gonna turn good, Kylo.
No, I don't think he's gonna turn good. I think it's gonna put him into. It's gonna put him into an interesting position, hopefully with the Knights of Ren.
JJ directing it. He does not want no fucking Return of Jedi comparisons with Vader again.
No, he doesn't. I think that's where literally the story can take off, because you'll have the First Order kind of going through its little power change and trying to collect itself, and you're gonna have them kicking out this very powerful dark side Force user who probably, I hope, meet up with the Knights of Ren at some point, and then you're gonna have all these different factions, and it's gonna be so cool to see what's gonna happen. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
With this change of like power and everything, and what Kylo Ren's gonna do, because I'm so certain he's gonna get kicked out, and I really want to know what he's gonna do in that situation. If he's gonna, well, he can't really play like, oh, help me, I'll turn good, or
I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be as good, but I've always been pitching the past few months. I want him to end up like Loki, where he's always in the middle, where he will help the good guys, but for his own good. Like, I would like if he took the Knights of Ren, and then in episode 10 or 11, the Knights of Ren are like a faction. I still want, this is not one of my predictions, I still want Old Republic New, where Rey is leading hundreds, I'll say hundreds, more like probably in the 50, because they don't need 100 cast Jedi, but even 25 Jedis, and Kylo has like 30, 25 as well, and like, I don't want the Rule 2 anymore, and that's what I'd like, is the time jump, and having Kylo, like, you have the First Order, or whatever the new evil faction is, you have Kylo Ren off on some planet, training a bunch of terrible, whatever they be, Sith, or just Knights of Ren, and then you have Rey bring up a new academy. That's what I want, really, and that's why I think you keep him alive, because I think the problem is with Kylo, if you kill him, I see the same thing happening in episode 10, the new villain, let's just say it's Darth Chair, and he's in this movie, and I could see the same storyline of him having all these Siths with him, be like, oh, where was he, like, where did he get all these Force users, and was he a Sith all along, this and that. I think the problem with that is, with Kylo, we have so much ties to Han Solo, Luke, and Leia. We have so much history with that character. That villain, anytime he's back or on screen, will feel much more important than anybody they introduce. You could introduce the next villain. It could be Darth Revan, or fucking, like I said, Darth Charon looks the coolest guy ever. But with it being a new villain, we're not going to be as attached to him as before. And I think they, not only lucky, they did a good job with Kylo Ren, but I don't know after Vader and the Emperor and Kylo Ren, if the next one, I can see the next one being quite the disappointment, unless it's another tie to, oh hey, Palpatine had a secret, whatever, oh it's a Darth Maul, like, unless if it's a new character. I think they got lucky with Kylo, because they could throw the Skywalker solo tag on him, and then I think they fleshed him out to be his own character good enough, but I don't know, if he's not in the new trilogy, the new villain might just kind of seem like, like, we're doing this, like, I don't know, like, is it just another Snoke where it's like, oh, he's a mystery, so I don't know. So these next two, these predictions were a bit more smaller for me, because those were also like lots of ones that I thought were really certain on. There's other ones I feel more certain on, but I like to throw some in for fun, and I'm not going to get double points on this one, but I think it's something that'll happen. I feel confident about it. Rey will have a non-blue lightsaber. I'm not specifying which color, because that's too bold of a prediction to make. I don't know if it would be green. I'm really hoping for yellow, to be honest. I want that Bastila Knights of the Republic. But that's my prediction. She will pave her own path. She's going to have a non-blue lightsaber. That's my prediction. I still think there's a chance she puts it on her staff and uses that. I don't know. But and I think some variation of color is good. I like blue. It's fine. Like, but it's just because everyone else uses it. I have that with Anakin, have that with Luke. It's the same way. That's why, to me, the green is with Luke, right? That's right. Even though he used blue, to me, blue is Anakin's lightsaber. The green was his. He built that. I want Rey to have that moment. I want her to, the first, whatever, episode 9 trailer, and her to ignite that lightsaber. And imagine if it's fucking purple, or if it's fucking yellow. The crowd will lose their mind. Yes, Mace Windu had a purple one, but this is like a new lineage and a new character. And I think her just building another blue one, she's not a Skywalker, she's not a Solo, she doesn't have a tie to that color or that family tree of lightsabers, so I would like it. I actually do think it's just going to end up being blue, but actually, no, I think it's like a 51-49, but I think they will choose another color. There's just the only reason I think it's going to end up being blue is just because I feel like they'll just choose the safe route, like, oh, blue's the color, but I think you give her a yellow lightsaber, that'd be great. So I guess I'm like 51% that she'll have a new color. What do you think about that?
I think you're right. I mean, it's just the kind of, I feel like they're going to go with that trend of Return of the Jedi. I mean, I know JJ's not on board for copying it or any of that, but I feel like, it fits in perfectly with the story. Like,
and she has no lightsaber, right? Anakin's is gone. It's broken. It's done.
It takes the same. Well, I mean, it could be repaired. The crystal was still intact, but I mean,
damn it. See, that's what I mean. Like, yeah.
And she has both parts too, the front and the back. But I mean, it just goes to show like, oh, the lightsaber was lost in like episode 4 or episode 5, sorry, and now the episode is destroyed, or the lightsaber is destroyed in episode 8.
And I don't want her to rebuild it because I feel like it's fitting that it breaks when Luke Skywalker's dead, you know? Because that ends like the sky. Like, I don't. Everyone, you can say yes, Kylo Ren, unless he turns good, but I don't feel like he's really carrying the Skywalker name. Like, he's a Ren, he's not a good guy. Like, I don't even associate him with them anymore, really, as far as, like, oh, this is still Skywalker saga. I think he's just, like, a remnant of that past, so I think it'd be good to start with a new lightsaber. And I'm not saying if she used, like, Luke's green lightsaber, that still counts for me. I'm not saying it has to be a new lightsaber, I'm just saying it's not going to be blue. That's my opinion. And I want it not to be blue. I think it'd be smart, and I think it'd be smart merchandise wise too.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair enough. I think that's a good
prediction.
Prediction. Yeah, thank you.
What is your fourth prediction?
My fourth prediction is I think
General Grievous lives.
General Grievous, that'd be sick. I think Rey's lineage. I think there's more to it.
So you don't think it's just sold her for liquor?
I don't think that's the case at all. I think that Kylo Ren was using it as deception.
But she says it though. She says my parents were nobody
first. She was emotionally compromised. I feel like there's so much more. I feel like even that scene with Maz and Han Solo, I feel like there's, even throughout this whole movie, I don't feel like, it's not that I want it to, I want there to be something.
Really? You don't like that they're nobody? You don't think that's a fun spin?
I think it's good because, I mean, when we meet Luke for the first time, he's a nobody. When we meet Anakin, he's a nobody. But that being said, I feel like
it would be a real nobody.
It would be a real nobody, but I feel like it's not that I'm trying to manifest. It's not that I'm trying to manifest the fact like, oh, she is like like from a big family tree or something. I just feel like the way they delivered it, the way, I know they didn't deliver everything like in the greatest way for so many of the fans. It was unsuspected and people's theories crushed. But in this sense, it didn't feel at the end of the day that that's actually the truth. Not like in a denial sort of way. It didn't deliver, and it did not feel like the actual, compared to everything else, like an end result. It felt so left open still for interpretation. And I mean, immediately, like when I heard that, my first instinct was like, okay, he's using a deception or something like that. It fits so perfect in with his like way to manipulate. He just saw Snoke explaining that and how to manipulate Hux, and now he's implying that, and like it fits so well. I think that, yeah, that's my prediction, that there's more to her family than what we're led to believe. So
I'll disagree because for two things. One, I really don't want it. I want it to be nobody. I like that much better. But two, I think that would like retroactively make that moment not as important in Last Jedi anymore. It takes that all away, and it's just kind of like, to me, that adds more fuel to that fire of like they are not planning stuff. Like, just kidding, her parents are Kenobi's, right? Like, I think, and now we don't have the baggage of having to explain her past with this. If we tie her into, she's fucking Palpatine's clone, she's a reincarnated Skywalker, like, then we have to do all this explain this. That I like that she's a nobody, and I think that fits with the theme that they were doing in Last Jedi, that anybody can have the Force.
Well, that's true, but then at the same time, Snoke made such a big point of saying like, okay, Kylo Ren, you were bested by this girl, and Kylo Ren freaking out saying she is more powerful in the Force than even she knows. Like, she is such a powerful Force user, more so than just a regular one.
Yeah.
She's got such strong abilities. Why is it that, she had those memories when she touched the lightsaber? Was that...
Well, I think it's just bad planning in reality.
Bad planning? Probably a bit of that, yeah. But I definitely feel like, okay, no, she's got some kind of connection to some kind of lineage. Why is Obi-Wan communicating with her?
The way you could take it is that after Luke pimps off and Kylo kills everybody, and there's no... It's like what you were talking about before, with there's so much light that dark had to rise, that there was dark and there was so little light that somebody had to, and she was one of the first people around in this decade or whatever, this generation, to have the Force, that the Force was so desperate to get back into somebody that's why some of its biggest Force users like Kenobi, Yoda, were talking to her of just like as a symbol. The only reason she had those visions is not because her past is important, it's just because she's important to waking the light side of the Force up, and it's speaking through her.
But the Force isn't like some like consciousness trying to speak or whatever. The Force is just that energy that Luke explains.
They kind of say, to me in Last Jedi, they kind of hinted that the same way when Rey's like the dark side literally pulling me down to this cave, and it's wanting me. She's saying like it's telling me like I need to see something. I think they kind of made a little hints here and there that it's like a conscious like being in the universe. Not like there's one person like on the light side, but just like it is a thing that flows through the world, and I think.
Well, yeah, it definitely flows, but I don't know if it would. It would just be like primed and itching just to break out.
I think it is though. I think that's why. That's the only way you explain. Because if she's not related to anybody, why is she so powerful, and why does she have those visions, right? Other than not planning. If that doesn't happen, if her parents stay nobody, then that is just bad writing. Because like, well, why is she so overly powerful at training? And to me, that's the only way that the light side was just trying to find a way out. That's why even when she has that scene where when she's fighting with Kylo Force Awakens, she closes her eyes and she says the Force, that the light side of the Force is trying so hard to prevail or at least balance the Force that through her it's making her more powerful, right? Because if she's not a Skywalker or Ben or a Solo or a Ben Kenobi, whatever, then she is just like, oh, she's just super powerful. So I think it is like it was the Force trying to get out and it chose her, and then now we have Jedi Rey, I guess.
Jedi Rey.
This is my last one. I have a few. I have some fun ones, but I'll throw them out honorable mentions. But I think this is a boring one, but you know what? I'm playing for points. None of the OG 3 of the new trilogy will die. Finn, Poe, and Rey will make it out of all of it. I think it's a safe bet. I think Kathleen Kennedy said we have planned films with these characters.
Didn't
Daisy Ridley said everything. Yeah, but she also said she just meant she was done because her contract's done with these. Who knows? Because Kathleen Kennedy didn't say at one point, like, oh, Poe and Finn and Rey, we have plans for them in the future. That could be smokescreen. That could also be confirmation. Another reason why I predict Kylo could die, because she never said anything about that. But I think they will live. I think they're trying to make them big and iconic. I don't think they'll ever be as iconic as the OG 3 because of just... So even with The Last Jedi, we'll see. But I think just even... As someone that likes the movie, Poe and Finn's adventure aren't as good as Han's and Leia's was in Empire Strikes Back, so there's no way they'll be as iconic, but I think they'll survive, and they'll keep them because they're all very young actors. They can keep them around. I think Poe will grow to be like a general. Rey will end up training in New Jedi Academy, and then Finn's just going to be around, I guess. Probably with Rose. Yuck.
Oh, Rose.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Terrible character. Not terrible character, just terrible storyline and writing for it. So what is your final prediction?
This one, I've been trying to think of like an actual solid prediction, actually, because like the other 4 I'm very like set on 100%, but like I've been trying to think of like other like scenarios or possibilities that could pop up. Go off of yours. I think definitely like the Finn and Poe will survive. I definitely kind of feel though that Rey, like until you said that comment.
Are you gonna make
earlier,
a prediction now?
I'm not gonna make a prediction. No, until you said that comment, but that Kathleen Kennedy mentioned. But I definitely did have a feeling that maybe that she would be killed off actually, and they would incorporate someone. Like, they would put a step in
Rose.
Rose.
But you're not confident enough to make that your last prediction.
No, and especially not after Kathleen Kennedy apparently says we got plans for these characters.
That was last year when she said that.
Yeah.
I take that as part of the prediction, but also I could see them saying that and be like, oh, we'll say that because we're going to kill one of these people off and they'll be shocking. But I do take that as face value.
I predict that... Hang on, I gotta think of the ending of Last Jedi here, because actually I have a good prediction here. I predict...
Oh, good prediction. They ain't seen nothing yet.
Unlike The Last Jedi, I predict that Episode 9 will not be happening right after Episode 8.
That's not a good... That's easy.
That's a good prediction.
It is. That's a good point prediction. So it just can't pick up right where Episode 8 left off.
Yeah, because Episode 8 left off right after 7. I think there were probably... Like, I want it to be a bit more fun, maybe say, like... You know what? I'll make it fair. I'll say a year.
At least a year?
Well, maybe not.
That's your call. You can say time. I just said, like, there's certain, like, with Rey, I just said we'll have a non-blue lightsaber. I wasn't specific.
I'm just trying to remember the ending of...
The ending is when they're all in the Millennium Falcon. They're like, this is a rebellion. Like, she's like, this is all we have. And then Leia's like, this is all we need.
Yeah, okay. Well, I will give it... I'm going to say it'll be over the space of like a month or more. That's how far.
Fine. I'm just putting in time jump because I don't think it's going to pick up with them landing the Falcon. Like, what do we do next as Leia? I think that is as safe a prediction as mine. Luke as a Force Ghost one. Because there's no way it doesn't do a time jump. that's your prediction, so you get the point. But what do you actually? I'll give you the month. But what do you actually think will be the time jump? Because Return of the Jedi had 2 years. How much was Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith? Like a year.
Attack of the Clones: Revenge of the Sith was 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So because fucking Ahsoka pimped off. So 3 years, 2 years. I think they're gonna go with the only thing about the time jump that confuses me is if they time jump to 2 years and Kylo Ren is still leading the First Order. Doesn't that kind of crap on the he won't make a good leader that they set up? I believe he won't because just the way he's so emotional and he does not think first. Like you look at Last Jedi when he's like, get that piece of junk out of the sky, and it's the Falcon's like, we do not need to be shooting that. The thing is though, if he's reigning supreme for 2 years, yeah, it could be people hate him and he's violent and this and that, and maybe it is that it's just building up to we want to get rid of him. But at the same time, if First Order was still kicking after 2 years, he wasn't that awful of a leader then. He still led them, right? So that's the thing where I think they can't. So I'll say a year. This is not my prediction, but I'll say a year at the most. Because I think 2 years, it's like Kylo did not he might not be the best leader, but like he's still they're still thinking. And if they're still like above the rebellion, if they're still if rebellion's still fighting from behind, that's well he's still kept up the pace. Like maybe he didn't sell more burgers than they wanted, but they kept still selling the same burgers on average, right?
I think that so. I think a year is safe, as you said it. 2 years, yeah.
It might be too long.
Might be too long, but I feel like it'll start off with
Rey has a big mohawk.
I think it'll cover the fact in the opening crawl, how, the First Order is trying to, snuff out the rebellion, but then the rebellion has started to grow.
Didn't we just get that movie?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. But the rebellion has grown and started to establish itself in the universe. Yeah. It's fighting back, retaliating.
Lair First Order, past, probably.
Yeah, something like that. The First Order is it's still gaining power and putting out a fight, but then tensions are rising between Hux and Kylo Ren, or it'll be something like Kylo Ren has departed off to do something with the Knights of Ren, or he's gone off and he returns and Hux has just ascended into that position of power, and he won't accept Kylo Ren to return or something like that.
Or there's just a power struggle when he gets back, and more people trust Hux because he's not a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, so, that's why I could see maybe if it is over up to 2 years, which would be kind of long. But it would give the rebellion enough time to properly establish itself, and it would. I
really want Kylo Ren's mission to go to fucking Mustafar. I'm not a big prequel guy, but I would love if Kylo Ren does die, he should die in Mustafar, where Anakin should have died. That would be great, because he needs a home base, and I want Mustafar to come back. It's such a cool planet.
It was cool to see in Rogue One. Snoke's ring that he wears too. Again, this fucking book I read, but his ring has obsidian underneath Vader's castle.
Yeah, so I think they've hinted at it a few times, so I think they should go back to it. So, okay, time jump. Did you have any that you didn't predict? I had 3 that I thought about. One that I was going to bring up, I thought was a joke. You predict that Captain Phasma could come back and just be a running joke. I actually don't think she will, so I didn't do that. This was more of a hope. I predicted Rose will die. I still think there's actually a chance, not because of fan backlash. I just think JJ will be yeah, but I like Finn and Rey together better. Another one was predicting that Poe and Rey might be a thing. The one that I could regret not predicting, I probably should have put in there, but I wanted to put the lightsaber one in because I think it's more fun. I think the movie will end with Rey deciding to create a new Jedi Order, Jedi Academy, and that's why they dropped those hints of that little boy. I don't think everyone's just oh, and that actor's going to be the fucking main guy of episode 10, 11, 12. No, it's just a kid. They'll recast him. I don't think it's going to be that exact same character. It was just to show that, hey, the Force is in.
That's what he thinks.
That's what
he thinks that too.
Yeah, he's telling all his friends.
Yeah, I'm going to be the main character of
in episode 10.
11, 12.
But I think it will end with good prevailing and her deciding to do a Jedi Academy, and I think that it'll go well this time, and I think the movies will actually focus, I don't know if it'll be like Harry Potter, So Kitty, but I think it'll be Harry Potter where she will have a school or a temple of Jedis, and I really want that. I want to see the prequels. We saw the end of the Jedi, obviously we jumped ahead and we saw the end of the Jedi again with Luke.
Yeah.
I want to see the rebuilding of the Jedi, and I want to see it succeed, and I want to see the next trilogy have multiple Force users. I want multiple Jedis, multiple whatnot. The prequels, I didn't crap on them a lot, but they had good ideas. I think it was just, for me and many others, the execution, some acting, writing, not the greatest. But I think the idea of having those two camps of Sith and Jedi going at it, I think would be great. So I think it will end. I think that's a stronger prediction than my lightsaber one, but who knows? But that's one that I think has a good shot at happening. And I want to see her building. And then the main character, if they don't want Rey to be the main character episode 10, which I think she still could be, they could have a co-lead of who she's training and then her, right? Kind of like an Obi-Wan Anakin situation. I'd like to see that again. I'd like to see the Jedi on... prequels aren't the greatest, but I really love the fucking stadium scene just because that moment when you see all the lightsabers light up and they're all around, like, I want that again, but I want it in for me that I can enjoy the whole package and not just maybe certain moments, so...
I definitely could see something like that. Like, you explained it perfectly where, like... Well, at least for me, like, Rey at the end of 9, she goes back to, Canto Bright, and you see, like...
Oh, no. Everyone's favorite planet.
Yeah. She goes back there
Maybe
and,
not there.
Or I guess she never was there in the first place.
Maybe
but
she
like,
can find him on fucking Tatooine. Let's go back to Tatooine.
Yeah. But, like, she goes there because she's looking for Force users, and, like, you just see the ship land, and you see the boys sweeping in the stables, and, like, you just see
still
her.
there. He's fucking
still there,
50.
yeah. She, like, swings open the door, and he, like, looks up, and, like, she kind of smirks or something. I don't know. Like, that'd just be kind of a cool nod, like, oh, wow, this just confirms.
Smirks, and then...
She's going around, like, recruiting all the new Jedi, but, like, I definitely... Watching these movies, as much as I love them, it hurts me at the same time, too, because... When I loved how much Jedi there was in the prequels. I loved it so much, seeing all the Force users, the Jedi Council, everything. That's one of my favorite things in like Star Wars games too, like KOTOR, like the Jedi Council, all those aspects. It's so cool. And it's a huge theme of Star Wars. And just every time I get to Revenge of the Sith, and I pop that disc in, I think, oh, why do I do this to myself? It's the Jedi Purge. And it's such... I think as far as scenes go in movies, I think the Jedi Purge is absolutely astoundingly done so well. It's fantastic. And it's so, like, just painful to watch at the same time. But just watching it and knowing, like, okay, this is it. Like, from here on out, I know the result for the next 50 years. And there's no fucking Jedi... Period. Barely one. And that's it. And it's so sad. And I'm with you 100%. I want to see Rey succeed in rebuilding the Jedi Council. 100%.
Well, I think that was good predictions. I guess we'll see in 2 years from now, a little give or take, that see who's right in this, and we'll break it down. We'll see. We have a whole record proof to see how that goes. So,
yeah.
Taylor, where can they find a bunch of other recorded proof of all our other casts?
When you go to Canto Bright, you can find us.
I predict we're never gonna go back there.
No,
people fucking
not.
hate that place.
The rose capital of the world.
Oh,
So yeah, you can find us with your internet connection on Google in the search bar. You can type in Facebook and go into your Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. In Facebook, you type in Geekverse Space Podcast, space bar, not the space word. You're gonna find this and tons of other awesome stuff. Hopefully, I mean, this is dropping really quick. So
it's dropping. It's gonna be in the new year. It might be January 2nd or 3rd. I'm not too sure. So and then hopefully, yeah, because there's a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I gotta check the actual
Han Solo trailer.
What day is they? I heard a rumor today that it's gonna January 8th. So that's a Monday during the national championship game. So there's a chance you might see from the Cantina dudes a couple times this month, because we'll definitely... I'd love to do a trailer react to that. If it's at night, we definitely will, because it's just... If it's in the daytime or morning, it's very hard to pull off because we both work. But if it's like they did with Last Jedi and during football game, that's what it sounded like the rumor is, we'll definitely do it.
Or they pull a Rogue One where they release it in the morning news or something like that.
Awesome.
That
Give me that morning news. Yeah. You know what is awesome? Geekverspodcast.com, where you can find all our content. Like I said, 2018 is here. We are back. This Friday, we have the 2018 preview for movies. We will go down every big movie that we're going to be reviewing and interested in, and then some for 2018. Geekverse Gauntlet is coming back. It is hot and heavy. We have some really good stuff planned. Please stay tuned. It is going to be quite the season, I can say that. Spin-off shows are coming back. They're going to be bi-monthly, so Netflix and Fail will be coming back in the next few months. Rant, Rave, Repeat, Dynamic Duo, me and Kyle will be dropping a predicting 2018 and ranking the 2017 comic book movies. So we got tons of coverage here on Geek News and Geek whatever. That's why they call us the Geek First. We go after everything in this universe that is geek. Go to patreon.com and type Geek First. You can get episodes like this. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you could have got this You could have got this last week. You get episodes months early. You get lots of stuff, early content, lots of good stuff, especially with Gauntlet. Lots of matches will be going up there early. So $1, $5 level, get all that. If you cannot spare any change. That is completely okay. If you like what we do, give us a positive comment. Give us any comment. Give us a question. If you want to give us a negative comment, we don't like them, but you know what? Hand them our way because I'm going to bat you down and show you why you're wrong. But no, if you like what we do, give us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscription. That helps us get out there. That helps us create new shows. That helps us grow our fan base, our great fan base we already have. We thank you for supporting us in 2017. It was our biggest year yet, numbers-wise. So we hope you continue to support us this year. And don't we say may the force be with you?
We had a special thing like established to say, but I don't remember it. I think we should go the good old, you know.
May the force be with you. I was gonna say that, and I thought you were gonna say always, but no.
Oh, nope.
Screwed up.